Hi. Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, hello.
Great to see everyone jumping in. Oh, we got a good group. Tommy's back. What's up? Cece, you're somewhere beautiful. Wow.
I'm at the car wash in Playa Vista.
I mean, nice. Really good. Really good.
Hey,
I
Ben.
always I always like giving everybody a few minutes to get in the room. Nick, how are you? I don't think I've seen you in one of my calls
I
before.
haven't been here before, but
Cool. Sorry for the call up, but I like recognizing new people that I
yeah,
haven't gotten to see.
you've been a big help just in general through messages on the app.
Oh. Thanks for saying that. Do you mind me asking what your tag is? Because I rarely know faces. I just know your guys' tag names.
I think Jick Spring, uh,
You checking it?
Jick Spring. I don't know.
Okay, I'll look. Well, it makes me happy that you're feeling connected to me and the other coaches because I mean um I play like a little game. I try to get in there before Catch does every day, and that's hard to do because he's up like at 5. So it's hard to beat that guy. But
You are
thanks for saying
dedicated.
that. Yeah. Yeah. I'm giving everybody a few more minutes to hop in. We got a good group here. I saw all your responses. I'll just use this time to talk to you guys while more people are arriving about scheduling. So you guys are pretty anonymous. We like that we're bouncing around times a little bit. I was to be honest, a little more than resistant about doing a 4 p.m. my time, just because I know that eliminates a lot of our friends on the other side of the world. But then I see Ben Riley here, and I think, are you not home, or am I in the wrong
Oh,
time?
I
Where's
am home. It's just it's midnight where I am, and I
okay,
was awake anyway because
okay,
things that needed doing, work things, email things.
okay.
I thought I could do it tomorrow, but then I can relax tomorrow. Plus, also it gives me an excuse to come and see all you beautiful people.
That's true. Instead of talking about, the mindset stuff, we'll have Ben read us a bedtime story because he's really got the voice cruising right now.
Oh no, I daren't. I daren't. I'm boring enough without your going to sleep. My ego would be crushed.
Oh, well, isn't that the point though? Don't you want us falling asleep on you?
No, not when we have
Um,
so much to discuss.
we do. So do you guys also like me offering some prompts ahead of time? Yeah, to think about it? Good, 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 good. I wasn't going to, and then Adam's like, let's send it early so you guys have some time to think. And truly, I want even if you don't say anything in the open gym time, I still want you guys thinking about these questions. And these are a few that, like I said, a couple came up more than once, and I have specific examples. And I um obviously I outed Karina as the POP acronym, which I just love. But I do like to keep some of your experiences more private, but then to share as a collective, like something, there's always a through line in these lessons, and that's the beauty of what we're doing in these calls. Um, so before I go into those kind of questions, I am dying to hear from a few people that were in Birmingham this weekend, and if they want to share a favorite moment or something that surprised them or anything, I would love to just like, because I obviously wasn't able to go, and I'm just dying to live through your experience. So and you feel free to just start talking if you were there and let the group be a part of your shared memory.
Jen, you were missed. There were so many people that asked me, is Jen here? Is Jen here? Like particularly the ladies, because I
Mm.
was doing my best to come and say hello to everyone, every single person that I didn't recognize or someone I saw on their own coming into the lounge. I thought, I'll be proactive and introduce myself, be gentlemanly and charming, make people feel at home.
Well, you are
And
kind of hosting as our one of our UK
yes,
residents, right? You know?
exactly. I hope to give people a decent first impression. And people traveled for a very, very long way. There was a lady named Ella who came all the way from Australia, Melbourne, Australia, to
Wow.
be with
Wow.
us, which was phenomenal. She was quite keen to meet the coaches. She had a great time. What I really loved, there were so many people, particularly on the Saturday, that were saying things like, "Oh, I don't think I could do the deadlift," or "I'm not sure how." And I'm very pleased to say that speaking to many of them myself, I told them, just try. You've got world-class coaches right there. You've got Nick Myers and his coach, Tom, right there, who could run you through everything. You're safe. And the point being, there were people that had never deadlifted before that were putting up over 100 kilograms, 220 pounds in freedom units. And yeah, they walked away smiling, grinning, very satisfied in the strength they never knew they had.
Yeah.
And that was wonderful to see in person, watching somebody almost transition. There was one chap named Sunil who I met. He was practically a shadow when he walked in. He was so shy, and he walked out. He must have been 10 feet tall. It was amazing.
Well, this is you're kind of taking us down a path of one of the questions and reflections I wanted to talk about. So I might just take this entry point to do it. I'm so glad to hear people are showing up, even if by themselves, because I think that's the um, feeling I want our community to always offer. And I don't think there's an age where this ever goes away, but it's that moment in high school where you have like your lunch tray and you're like, where am I sitting? Who can I sit with? And I really want us to always create that environment and take it upon ourselves, like Ben did, to be like, oh, you can sit with us. You can just sit here, you know? And so if Sunil came by himself, I understand why he'd be more nervous. And then to be a part of it, because you leave with a sense of like a belonging. And I think, to call out Rob from last week, he said, I have found my place in my place. I have found a place in my place. And that's what I really want everyone to do. And I think sometimes when people do come by themselves, we should really encourage that in the app as we have meetups happening. Who cares if you have someone coming with you? You have people there waiting for you. And I think we should collectively make that our message. If you guys see something that I miss, the coaches miss, let's just make sure we keep pushing that. But Ben, this is a fun one. I'm calling it mirror moments as one of these topics that I felt were important to talk through. Um,
Hey Jen,
and I think, yeah,
real quick on the connecting part of that,
yeah,
like it is a really good community builder where I saw that there was like near DC where the DMV, and I saw that Rob was posting and something on there, and I got on that and I was hitting catch up about like doing something in our area. So started a Facebook group and now we have people, and Rob and I have been talking about getting a group together for our area. It's been really cool that we're like, hey, a local thing, like just that idea of community building from the app is really nice and positive.
yeah. Well, and also a great reminder that it doesn't just have to stay in the app. We're we have cell phones, we have cars, coffee shops, there's gym. Like, go see each other outside of this. I think there's people and starting chapters all in all kinds of different cities, and I love that you guys are taking that initiative. And I think that it's important to know that that's available to anybody that's really looking for more friendship. And if I can, I don't know if Cece is still Cece's got her screen and her sound off, so I'll embarrass her I'm going to talk about you, Cece. Is that okay?
Of course, of course. I'm
Okay.
here, just waiting for my car.
But to your point, Nick, so I teach a women's lifting class every Saturday morning. And when Cece had started coming, She makes the drive up, comes once a week. And I actually posted it anonymously on my Instagram because it's a big audience that are reading it. But she came up to me at the end of class and said, I actually have friends now. And Cece, you're lovely. It's not like she's hard to be friends with, but it was this, she found a place that was an extension that started on the internet here, came in person, and really have built this friend group in person, some of which are members in the Pump Club and some aren't. But I think that's the beauty of what you're talking about, like getting there, showing up, being willing to be a part of it. And I remember like you showed it, like it's not like it has to be no, that I'm committing, I have to be here every week. She's missed a couple weeks, but like the
Yeah.
friendships are still real. They don't wane, you know?
Yeah. It's great. It's great to be with people, and we're all just trying to make each other better and lift each other up and support each other. And it's just a wonderful thing. You come in and you're just there to be your best. And before you know it, you've made some friends.
Yeah, but I think what I'm getting at too is we
Good.
could be spinning yarn. Nobody care. I mean, lifting weights is cool.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like we're here because we want to be healthy and move, but it's getting together, like Nick said, like doing these local groups and starting to hang. And even if it's once a month, that's something that's meaningful. So I'm glad you guys are doing that. Um, I want to take us down this road on mirror moments. And there was somebody that was specifically that was well, I want to, I'm trying to create some anonymity here, but I've had some multiple conversations I've seen come up between coaches and with myself and other people that are saying, like, for instance, one was really interesting. Like, um, I can't make the meetings. I don't know how to convert the time zone listed to the time zone that I am. And you think, okay.
Google.
True.
That's what I do.
So so do I mean, Melissa, my parents have lived in Chicago their whole life. I still have to Google PST to Chicago. Where am I? So, but the point is I look at that as a coach and I say, okay, but what's really holding that person back? Are they nervous to put their camera on? Are they nervous they have to participate? Are they not knowing what to expect creates fear? And Ben said it perfectly. People that were saying, I'm not going to touch the bar. I'm not going to do it. And they come in on the other side of that try and realize, oh, I can do this. And a lot of times it's just exploring what you're nervous about that you get to the problem of what it really is. And I wasn't there, Ben, and at who was pulling, but I would tell you when I've talked to people that are afraid to deadlift or in front of others, it's not that, oh, I can't do that. I've never done it before. That's not the real answer. The real answer is there's a fear of performing out in front of others and doing something that might embarrass themselves. That's the real
Oh,
fear. It has
yes.
nothing to do with the deadlift. It has nothing to do with their strength. And so that's what I want to spend a little time in. And why don't we just kind of tackle this category? And I'm wondering if any of you are willing to like walk me through what I'm calling their mirror moments. It's the idea that like you look at yourself in the mirror, what's the real truth? The way I said it here is, what are you seeing as something that's been a barrier to your success that is actually an excuse for something deeper? Anybody want to go?
Question, isn't it?
I know.
Well,
I'm going
I'll
to blame
go.
it on Ben. Okay, Ellen. Yeah, Ellen, go for
Uh,
it. So
well,
I can't, oh, sorry to step on you. Zoom always does that. So I kind of want to help this be as useful for everybody as possible. So I kind of want to understand, like, set us up. I want you to tell us your origin story
hmm.
around the barrier. That will kind of help us.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I think I shared about a week ago. I'm a newcomer, so I shared in the app about a week ago that like a little bit about my past story is that for the last 6 years, I've had a lot going on in my life. And as a result, I've used it as, I think this kind of goes along with what you're saying. I've used it as an excuse almost to give up and to say like, okay, well, I can't I'm having a hard time losing weight, so I'm just gonna like I don't know what to do, so I'm just gonna eat whatever. Fill in the blank.
So
Instead
you're
of
saying like,
taking a look at like,
mm.
okay, what can I do? What can I do? So I've been chipping away at it a little bit. I've
Well,
also, I
let me
guess, a
back
little
you up a
bit.
little bit. Yeah, like let's go. So like, what wasn't working? You're saying I'm really busy. So you were blaming.
Well, I wasn't. So I had. So about 6 years ago, we had a huge move. We moved from. So I live in California. So I moved from the Bay Area to San Diego after 13 years. And so that was a really big thing. And then a couple of years later, um, a year and a half later, I helped my parents move to from LA County to San Diego County. And then after that, about 7 months later, my mom died.
Mm.
Um, and then I had family. My sister moved away to Texas. My in-laws, we thought we were going to live close to them, but they ended up spending half the year in Minnesota and half the year here. So it was a lot of change. And it was in the midst of COVID, which didn't allow for a lot of community building, which I mean, we came from such a strong community. So all that to say is that I didn't have a very good, little bit of the background stories. I didn't have a very, I allowed those things to keep me from reaching my goals, developing consistency with working out. And like, and then also using those things as an excuse to kind of
Mhm.
give up in a way, not give up, but or give in to
Give
the
in.
feelings of the overwhelm. It's like, I don't have time for this. Like,
Well,
I can't do
and but
this. So,
this is why I've asked you to share this context, Ellen, because someone saying you're busy, it's like, yeah, we're all busy. You have very real experiential challenges. These are a lot at once and in repeat, like this thing, then this thing, then this thing, then this thing. So I guess like if you want to get clear on where did you feel the most stuck then? Where did you feel the tension build where you
well,
like,
it, when I guess as I've been chipping away more and more at different stressors in my life and really kind of cleaning things up and,
mhm,
um, I don't know, for example, getting rid of social media and, um, to and getting rid of clients actually that to allow space to just be a homeschool mom and be you know be a wife and a mother.
mhm.
Anyway, as I chip away at those things, I'm realizing I got to the point of, in summer of 2025, summer last year, like, okay, I need to develop the consistency muscle of just working out. So I'm just going to just do that. And I kept thinking in the back of my mind, like, I do need to track my food. That would be really useful. But I didn't want to do calories. I didn't want to I wanted it to be simple and easy.
Mhm.
I don't have time for that. I don't want to do that. So I just started chipping away at it. And my first step was building the consistency muscle back in for working out. And
I'm writing something down that you said that's really good. So then where do you think, so you're talking about this consistency muscle, where do you think there an event, a realization? What took you from saying it's all too much to working this consistency muscle to getting on the other side of that? Like where did it click in for you? What was that moment?
I don't know if there was a moment,
Okay.
but I will say it was, I had this, I had this desire to get back to a healthy weight again. And
Mm.
that kept coming up in the back of my mind. And I wasn't ready. I just wasn't ready to do it because of the stressors that went on that were happening and then kind of where I was at. I know I wasn't mentally ready to tackle it. So,
Yeah.
but it was there. it was there. And then as I was kind of making sure my space, my home, my family, my life was a little more free, uh,
Mm.
then I was able to think, okay, now I think now is the time to get started, to do
So then
something.
what made it the time? What shifted in you? Like, guys, this is really hard what I'm doing to
Okay,
Ellen right now.
so
Yeah, come on.
well, it was kind of like okay, so in summer 2025, when I started working out consistently, like over the course of like the 6, 7 months, I realized, so from June of 2025 to February 2026, like the needle was not moving forward. Yes, but it wasn't moving forward to like hit my goal weight and do things to make sure that like I am doing that. And the kicker was we're going to the Virgin Islands, and we're going to the Virgin Islands in June. And that was the kicker. I was like, this isn't working for me anymore. I've read Adam's book. I read Arnold's newsletters. I was on vacation. This was 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, almost three. I was on vacation. I was in Texas, super busy, full schedule. Um, and I was like, nope, I'm done. I'm doing something. I need to do something different. And so I was like, well, the only way I'm going to do that I
See, I think
is
your
the
bigger
app,
breakthrough
is
isn't
joining
the
the pump
work.
club. So that's what
Yeah,
I
but
did.
yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah, but so this is fascinating to me. It wasn't the working out for 6 months, 7 months. It wasn't getting to
No.
February. It's the moment you did now. Like, I think that what I'm hearing you say is like, okay, I took this step. You took action. That's not really the breakthrough though for you, Ellen. What I'm hearing is the breakthrough is like you did this, you took this time for yourself, and you realized that if you were really going to make the change that you were interested in, it was going to take all of you, not part of you. And by the way, I don't care, guys. I love that a vacation clicked you in to be like, okay, no more screwing around.
Well, I'm like
This is
working
gonna
out in the hotel room doing my first workout, which,
right.
yeah,
You
it's
can't
kind of nice.
part-time do this. We've told you don't have to be perfect. You can't be part-time. And I think that's the real breakthrough. It's like to step into the app just now as a newcomer, already having that much training under your belt and realize that, like, you know what? I've been going part
But
way.
okay, I will also say I knew what was missing. I knew what I needed after being, 6, 7 months in this other app. I knew what was missing. And I
How
knew
did
what
you
I needed.
know?
It,
That's what I want you to tell
it,
all of us. How
it
did you
was
know?
the new in the other app, I had no direction with coaching and form, and it drove me batty. It's like there's thousands of people doing this workout in a day, and they could all be doing it wrong. And yes, we look at the person doing the coach doing it, but there's no there's no one correcting form. There's no one like even in the videos for, you know,
Yeah, but
uh
I'm not going to let you go on this tangent. Hold on.
okay.
Like, okay,
Anyway,
so you
okay,
didn't,
good. So
right?
that also, and then the nutrition, because it is a pain. I knew I wasn't going to count calories. So after reading Adam's book and realizing like, oh, this is the way it's all set up. This is amazing. I can do this. So it
But
was like a no-brainer. Those were the two pieces that were missing, like the coaching and the nutrition. And it was like everything else kind of clicks and comes together.
so what's exciting, and what I'm going to translate, I think, from my point of view, and Ellen, thank you. Like, I am pushing you hard because these are deep questions that are meant to make you explore what is that thing? What is the answer for me? It doesn't necessarily come right up. And I'm glad it's not, because then I know you're bullshitting me. I know you're really trying to think it through. And what I'm hearing and what I want to share is like my little takeaway is that Ellen realized she could commit, but also realized she needed coaches committed to her. You lock in better when you know you're working with people that are in it with you. So
Yeah.
that was a big one. That's a big one. And knowing what you need as someone that's training towards a goal. I don't care if it's like, you're taking music lessons. You, Ellen, will always need someone that is meeting you and committed to you. And that's an important thing to know about what you need in your own behavioral personality. And I like that. I really like that about you. So I can see how that became um that was the deeper lesson that you learned. And as a newcomer, like, by the way, I love that you're here. I love that your screen's on. I love that you're sharing your story. You've already been so talkative in the app, so thank you for that. Um, I will look forward to hearing how training goes these next few months as you enter into the islands. Because if you're dialed like that with your training and now with the tracker, and you've got coaches that you know care about you, you're going to be unstoppable. So thank you, Ellen.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. Of course. Dom, you had your hand up. Go for it, honey, if you want to share yours. And
Um,
I'd like the same context as well. I think hearing Ellen more of her story will really help us understand where she started and why this became a barrier. You know what I mean? So if you would like to do the same for us.
I'm gonna try. I'm not sure where I'm gonna go because I'm a bit anxious, so maybe I'm gonna stop at one
I'll
point if it's
help you.
too much.
I'll help.
So I don't know if you read like my stories, like I lost my mom and my sister, and it was like a feeling like I didn't have control over my life, because the more stuff that happens to you is often something you cannot control, right?
Mm.
It's something that comes at you and then you just have to deal with it. And
Yes.
for a long time, I felt like I had no control. Everything was happening to me, and I was doomed to be like a sad version of myself, right? And let myself go. But then, like one day, like I literally saw myself in the mirror. It's like I was trying to not see myself. I was trying to not watch. Just passing by, removing my clothes, going to the bathtub, taking a shower, and one day I looked, and I cried. I started crying. My boyfriend came and was like, "Are you okay? What's happening?" I was like, "I just saw myself naked," and I don't like what I'm saying. And I felt like it was just a representation of the inside too, right? Because if you let yourself go and you just drink Coke, like a liter of Coke all day, you just eat chips, you just like your body is reflecting what's inside too. Because if the outside is not healthy, the inside is just the worst. And I did like a blood test, and I was like, it was not bad, but it was like not super interesting, right? And it was like the start of the change. Like I was like, I cannot stay like this. I cannot stay out of control, right? Because
Was
we're
it
just
for you the visual, Doms?
it
Did
was
you
a
just see
visual.
it and it hit like you a reality, like that, months of behavior that added up to that one moment? Because sometimes, I mean, I called this category mirror moments. It's you truly had one. And sometimes
Yeah,
seeing the truth is enough to let
yeah,
you
it
get
was
into
a
a
mirror moment.
reality. Yeah.
Like because I always been like in like we really sporty people in my family. Like my dad has been running for 45 years. Like my brother is like we all sporty people, and I just because of what happened, because it was a lot of trauma and stuff. Um, I just stopped trying, and I just like okay, so I'm doomed to have bad stuff happening, so I'm just gonna stop fighting. Um, and then the mirror showed me, and I was like, I don't want to be this version. I want to
Mm.
be in control of what I can be because for me, I had no control over anything. But that's not true. I had control over my gym, like my sport, my choice in nutrition, my choice in friends, my choice in like diploma, school. I had so many choices, but like for so long I was like, I have no choice. Life is happening to me. I'm just a sad person, and I think that was like, no, no, you have a lot of choices. It's just that you have to
Mm.
move forward.
I have to just commend you to recognize, and this is for all of us, but when you can recognize that you are operating with a victim mentality, which
Yeah.
definition of a victim, by the way, I spent a lot of my life doing this, so I'm not pointing, I'm sharing as well,
Hmm.
is when someone or something is responsible for how you feel.
Yeah.
And I, I'm I remember being like, oh, that's me every moment of my day, for
Mm.
sure. And I commend you for being honest about that. And I think I'd like to hear, because this is the moment, because I that's the barrier. Like things are happening to me. How did you start to help yourself be honest with yourself about, I do have a choice? I want to know where that began for you because I think that will help us all so much.
Uh, it's a bit like I think the image. I think I saw the image I was showing to the people around me and like my family, and because we all have a different way to deal with trauma and
Hmm.
and I think I was seeing myself. I think my how to say that. I'm sorry. I'm a
Take your
bit lost.
time.
Mm, I think I got really afraid of my friends and the people I'm close to seeing me as a dark cloud and something that is just pulling them down, and my partner, and that's just like such a dark cloud in a room that's always like grumpy and not in control, and I just wanted to be like the real version of myself, not the victim one, because I'm not a victim. I'm just like another human because everybody's going through.
Yes, but I mean, show of hands, how many times have you been in a situation like Dom has, and you know you're kind of going the wrong direction, so you avoid seeing people, you isolate, you separate, that's a real thing. And I think that that is the beauty of community, and it is the beauty of opening up, and like what we're doing here in Open Gym and the way we share in the group is because when we get to know each other and I start to learn about what's important to you and each of you, then I know how to help protect that truth so you don't fall into story, right? To fall into this is happening to me. I'm like, no, Dom doesn't want that. She wants to be the one making decisions in her life. And that's the beauty of having people around you that care about you and love you.
Yeah.
And thank goodness you have the people that can open up. And sometimes I call it being someone's Eskimo. I don't know if your partner who said something to you, but it sounds like it really helped you translate that into real action and real decision making. So, um, what where do you feel like now, after you've made that shift, what do you have a daily action, a daily mantra? How do you protect you staying at your best version? What keeps you from sliding back, sweetheart?
Well, I have a good therapist. Uh,
Praise therapists everywhere.
the gym, I mean, it became like Arnold is saying, when he's saying in an interview that when he goes to the gym in the morning is in gray, and then as soon as he goes to the gym and comes back with his bike, everything's in color. The gym is
Uh,
doing that to me. If I last week I hurt myself because I went a bit too hard on my back and I couldn't train
okay.
and I was super frustrated because I could not do my it's my meditation, right?
Mhm.
My moment where I can just like feel good and feel strong and stuff. So I would say the gym is helping a lot and keeping a good nutrition because when I feel like when you have bad days and you want to binge like a burger or something like pad thai or something and then you eat it and you feel even more like shit.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to keep a good nutrition
Yeah,
because
but listen, that's good information too. The amount of times like I've gone for my version of pad thai, And as I'm eating it, I'm feeling worse. And I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I have to remember this feeling. But
Hmm.
I'm going to say, ironically, I wrote this down this morning. So it's so crazy that you just called out the gym. And that is a real action item that everybody on this call and anybody listening should really feel good about utilizing is the gym as that meditative act to remind you of who you are. I wrote down it was an idea for an article for you guys, but I'll just read. It's one sentence. It says, the barbell, the iron, will always be the best friend you've ever had. It will always tell you the truth. And I thought there's something in that. Like, it doesn't matter the bar on my back versus Nick's versus Peggy's. Like, whatever it is for each of us, it's the truth. And that isn't that the best friend you'll ever have. And so it's our job. And Dominic, now you know your job is to get in there and make sure you move because, and we
Yep.
all know if you're lifting, you know you're not ordering pad thai. You
Hmm.
know it. Like one behavior supports the other.
Yep.
And so I think I just will um I will say that and this is maybe a bit of a harsh reality, but my takeaway, like hard things will always happen. I think it sounds like you've come through so much, but it doesn't mean you're at the end of the road for hard things. And I don't think it's any excuse to let go of who you are, what's important to you. But I look at a lot of this as curriculum and what you've been able to figure out and now teach us on this call about your experience turning it into really helpful curriculum for pathways forward for other people that go through something hard. It's a beautiful contribution. So thank you. Really, it's
You're
meaningful,
welcome.
and I'm excited to
It
do
was
more with
really
you.
hard to share. Like I'm shaking, my phone is shaking and
I
stuff
know,
like
and you
that.
said you have anxiety. I got excited. I was like, yeah, but
Yeah,
this is it.
I have panic
And
attacks. So sometimes
and you
it's
should,
hard to.
yeah. No, but tell
It's
your
nice.
therapists we love them. You're doing great. Tell them you're doing a great job with you.
But you guys are helping so much. Like I should have said that too on the list. That what helped me too is having this community and having support from each other. And even if you
Mhm.
have bad days, like people are so nice and so sweet, and it doesn't mean that you suck because sometimes like your brain is like you suck because you don't do it today, and it's not a big deal. You're not a machine, you know.
Mhm.
So
But I also
um,
think that takes time to build trust.
yeah,
Uh, Trust with yourself, um, and trust with your body takes time. And
yeah.
you're earning it every day you follow the program. You earn it every day you tap into the workout. You earn it every day you tap into a rest day that
Mhm.
you commit to the schmooze and the shots for the week. It is like think about the greatest friend of your life, the one you've had the longest, that if something went down, you would like, dude, that's my call. That's my phone a friend. How long have you known that person? How many
Yeah.
moments, experiences, hard days, hard years, wild things that have happened to either one of you that you've processed together? Allow yourself that same time to grow a really deep relationship of trust.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Now, we can stay on this topic. Dawn, your hand is up, so I'd like you to go next if you're willing. I did want to read one comment. Heather, you wrote this, and I just thought it's two sentences long, and I thought it was just such a relatable moment. She says, "I am used to giving 110%, and not being able to has been hard for me right now. I am cautiously optimistic and relearning how to be me." So there are versions of ourselves that start to change as we grow and we take more of this information on our life. We collect this wisdom. And I love this. I'm cautiously optimistic as I'm relearning how to be me. Yeah, it's Heather, straight on. As long as you're going forward, I don't care if you're cautious, as long as you're going, you're doing it. Dawn, let's go ahead. Next, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Hi.
So, hi, how are you?
Hi.
Yeah. I would say the moment that I had been very humbled was menopause. Backstory, I had always been really active. I had a great example as a mom. She was always bike riding and doing Jane Fonda videos and, always had great food. And I just never, I was active. I exercised. I liked it. I was a single mom, had an active child, and menopause hit. And right as
But
it
tell me,
hit,
but tell me what stopped working for you. It sounds like you're smooth sailing, and then like what was like
yeah,
the wheel screech?
yeah.
Like what was that
So
moment?
it was smooth sailing up until I hit menopause. And I think there was just because like, even in my 40s, I was running marathons. I decided to take up running. So my son was older and I hit menopause. Both my parents got sick. They both passed away very close together.
Mm.
Within a year, my husband was diagnosed with lymphoma, and I had not been active at all. I mean, I wasn't even walking. I wasn't walking, and that was just so odd. I mean, people were like, I can't believe you're not doing something because you just love to do that. And I think a lot of it was mental. And then I jumped around from routine to routine. And I was a little cocky, like, hey, I'm going to put together my own routine. I know enough. And nothing was happening. So when I saw this app, I'm like, I need help. I never had to I never had to ask anyone for help with that.
May I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you think your resistance to asking for help is what kept you kind of like party hopping from plan to plan to plan?
Yes, because I never
Okay.
joined any of the plans. I would take a screenshot in Instagram, like, oh, look at her. She looks awesome. What's she doing? And I'd write it down in my binder, like she did this. So I was really adverse. And I don't really even, I think at this point, and then I had gained weight and I didn't know what to do. And I I felt like I think the thing that hit me was it didn't feel like my body anymore. Mentally, I felt like myself, but I look and it wasn't me anymore. And I felt like a victim that menopause had taken my athletic body from me that and the fact that I could eat in moderation even junk food and that was fine even into my 40s and I think I was pissed to be honest. Some of it was depression, some of it I was mad. I just did not like this stage. So I said, you know what, I'm going to try this app. And I don't remember what sparked me, but this was the first one I ever put any money into. Never, ever put any money anywhere before, except for running shoes, equipment, weights.
Mhm.
That's it. And I love,
What made you be willing to pay for Pump Club?
you know what? I think to be really honest, did I go, oh, what's Arnold Schwarzenegger doing? It was that. But then when I saw who he surrounded himself and I started doing research on, who's this Adam Bornstein? Oh, who's Catch? And I kind of did a deep dive and they explained who they were. And I was like, wow, this really feels like real people. Because you do start to wonder when you're doing 3 sets of 10 and somebody looks that way and you're like, I'm not even close to looking that way. Like, what the hell? So I thought, you know what? I thought it was a great deal. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go monthly with it. And if I don't like it, no harm, no foul. And I loved the workouts. I absolutely loved it. And even when life hit and I would get off track, I would get right back in. The thing that's been the huge crutch has been the tracker. I was very adverse to using it. And again, I think it was being stubborn and being mad.
Yes.
Anger.
Sorry.
Chicago anger. South Side anger.
Oh, oof.
Yeah. And I would use it and I'm like, this is stupid. I can't do this. I don't have time for this. I'm not gonna do any of this. And then my son and I went to Columbus and I just saw all the amazing women there, amazing people there. And I'm like, you know what? I'm listening to the stories and I'm like, you're being an ass. You can keep tracking the tracker. What, I was kind of like feeling ashamed. Like, why am I saying I can't? So I started it right after. I don't always have green apples. I'm not even going to lie, but I have been documenting and some of the things I'm finding because of never doing it, like I don't think I was portioning things out right. Like I would say, oh, look at this. I have an English muffin. I'm like, that's 1 carb. It's not. It's 2 carbs. So I started asking Arnold AI, which I'm like, damn it. And
Yeah.
finding out, like here I was thinking beans. Well, that just goes under protein. Well, that's carbs too. I mean, that's how far off I was on this. So this is I readjusted. I got mad. I didn't quit, and it was so funny because I posted in one of the threads, and I don't remember who it is, and I don't know if you're on there, but you had said, I said I was being challenged by it, and this woman said, "Please don't quit." And I was like, you know what? I'm not. And sometimes it just takes that. Like, well, she told me not to quit, so I'm not going to. Well, I'm not going to
Yeah.
quit now because now I'm going to look like a quitter. And so I readjusted myself. I started saying, what are you eating? How much? How many carbs are really in there? Because that's the overriding question for me is because I like carbs.
Well, by the way, and carbs are great for you, but like there's so many. I'm taking notes on what you're saying, and what the high the the constellation of your story is very clear, right? You were blaming menopause for changes in your body that was actually your stubbornness for asking for help, sticking to a plan, and really committing to a plan financially, which I think
Mm-hmm.
matters for some people. I think you put your money in, so you're like, I'm here.
Yep.
And then taking the next step, again, resistance again. And I think there's something in that resistance that I'm still a little interested in talking to you about, Dawn. But
Sure.
what is that resistance to say no before yes? What is that? Maybe it's that Chicago grit. Like, I'm fine. I got to get out of my face. I don't know. I'm from Chicago
Yeah.
too. What is that pattern? What is that instinct to push? But the reality is, I like that your immediate second instinct is now becoming, no, I'm going to ask for help. No, I'm going to figure
Mm-hmm.
this out. Yeah, I'm going to listen and I'm not going to quit. And so now you're on the other side of a real shift of you understanding a part of your personality that you must be aware of and not deny in order
No,
for
I
you to
don't.
be successful. Like I think the moment Dawn realized I am stubborn and I am someone that needs to know that about myself, because I need to look for when that trait comes up and is being a little louder than the rest. So I know I can get the help I need to stay on track to be successful. And now you sit before me months later. Are you successful?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I
Yeah.
feel strong. I feel like I know I'm gonna that last little bit, like I have the muscles, I feel them under there. I want to see them. I want to see them,
Yeah.
especially after I mean, after seeing your biceps. I'm like, well, I want to see a little bit of that, right?
Yeah, but here's what I always tell people, and here's what's fun. Muscle pays for the party. So when you do the strength training in here, you're able to build muscle, lose fat. It gives you room with your calories. It gives you a chance to like enjoy food. I went out and had Mexican food last night. I mean, talk about a free meal. And I go hard in the paint. I was like, bring the guac, two margaritas. I want a double enchilada, like, extra guac. Like, I'm like, if I'm going to hit that free meal box, I am getting my free meal. And
Absolutely.
yeah, but this is good. And I will tell you what's fun about Dawn's story, and this is a big takeaway I want you guys to hear. You can resist and get mad. I counted how many times did you say you were mad?
It was mad.
Chicago, right, mad. She stopped being mad and she started getting honest. And like even like looking at the what was in what she was eating, instead of getting mad about these portions, she like laughed at herself. She's like, "Oh, there's carbs and beans. Thanks, Arnold AI. Oh, this is 2 servings of carbs. Okay." And what's cool is like information is power. So she knows that
Hmm.
like if you're like Dawn and you like carbs, instead of doing one English muffin, wouldn't you rather have 2 cups of rice? I want volume. I'm a volume
Yep.
eater. I'm a volume drinker. I want it. So it's like now you've got really good information to actually
Yep.
make it work for you. But you have got to be willing to look at yourself and know who you are to know what you need. And I commend you for
Absolutely.
being so honest. I mean, I think we've learned as much from you as we have laughed with you. So thank you, Dawn. And thanks for not quitting. This story is amazing. And I'm excited to see what we keep doing together.
Thank you. Me too. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you bet. You bet. There's more hands up on this topic if you guys want to keep going. Yeah? Are we cool to keep going? Okay. Okay. Ben, your hands up. I'm calling in order. Go for it, Ben. And by the way, if anybody wants to shift, we can talk about the other ones too, but we're on a roll.
Sure. Well, I appreciate everyone's time. I've told my story several times, but for those who haven't heard it, and is I think it's always good to reiterate. Um, I was very close to 500 pounds 3 years ago, almost exactly 3 years ago. And what really pushed me over the edge my wife had gone to work. I had a day off, and I was just lounging in bed, as you know, the walrus does. and and I had the most horrendous chest pain when I woke up, and I thought to myself in that moment, it was awful. I thought to myself, my God, I've killed myself. I've done it. And I had a horrible moment when I thought, good, this is probably for the best. And I just shut my eyes. And then some short time later, I woke up and I'd been sick in my mouth. I just had indigestion. But that was the real moment of realization for me when I thought to myself, am I really prepared to be a corpse in bed for my wife to find? I speak very highly of my wife often. I'm not sure it could ever come across more, but she is the melody of my life. She is the sunlight to my dawn. She's fabulous. And I thought, God, as much as I hated myself in that moment, and I use hated in the past tense, because it's not so much anymore. As much as I hated myself, I loved her more. And that's what sought me to go see my doctor, finally find out, how much I weighed. I found out the terrifying number that I'd avoided for years as I got larger and larger. And it was as if a little bit of good fortune was. I'd been reading the Pump Club emails. I was somewhat invested. I went down these rabbit holes of research. It was always, what's the best way to do this? What's the most efficient way? And I felt that it was almost the illusion of action by planning what I might do instead of anything but doing the bloody thing. But then when the pump launched officially, I just found all this out. I was scared for my health and my life and what that may mean. And I thought, I need to do this and have a bloody good go at it. And here I am. I'm 196 pounds lighter now.
May
I'm
I
so
may I ask
frustratingly
you?
close. Yes,
No,
carry
well,
on.
finish that sentence. You're frustratingly close to what?
I'm frustratingly close to be able to tell you all I'm 200 pounds down, but I'm not going to lie to you, so I'll be on.
Oh, trust it. You'll arrive at that number
Oh,
when
of
it's
course.
time. I know the feeling of that wanting, but it's less about the number and more about the change inside. I will tell this to you guys
Mm,
a more than till my I go blue. The outside changes so much faster than the inside, and
mm,
I know the number feels very important, and the our clothes changing and all of that, and that's the mentally Ben, you'll come very far and you'll hit that number and you'll keep going, and sometimes you'll look at the mirror and still see the guy that was almost 500 pounds. So like this
ah,
is, yeah,
yes.
I
He
know
is the
that
spectre that follows me.
yeah, right, but not always. It won't always be there, and that makes me curious. So it's very clear that what you were doing wasn't working. I think my curiosity is that my brain goes to, in that moment, what were you avoiding? And, or do you even know? And I have a part B to that, but let me start there. What were you avoiding?
Sure.
What allows to you to get to that point?
So, in all honesty, I think I was in some sense an addict. I
Mm.
had very little, again, as much as I say I love my wife, she's fantastic, and all of these other things, there were very few things that brought me joy in life. But one of those things was food. And as I got larger, things became more difficult. So the things that I did enjoy, going out, going to concerts, seeing music, I'm massive into like rock and heavy metal like music. I couldn't go to concerts anymore because I couldn't stand. Um, Lots of venues have quite small seats, so I couldn't even go to be in the seated sections. So as I lost more and more ability and capability, I started leaning on the only thing that brought me any kind of joy. And the trouble is, when you have that button to press on demand, as it were, you
Yeah.
press it and you press it and you press it until all of a sudden nothing else works. And you keep pressing that button. You keep pressing that. I feel something that is negative. I shall raise my mood by eating something, or I don't feel anything at all. I will stimulate something by eating something. It was affecting every part of my life because again, uh, I was it's classical binge eating disorder. I would hide everything I was doing. If I made a call to my best friend, the pizza man, I would hide the evidence in my car to dispose of at work later. No nobody would know.
Do you,
It was weird.
well, I don't think it's weird. I think that's natural.
Mhm.
I used to hide Taco Bell wrappers from my roommates. I mean, and I
Mm.
wasn't 500 pounds. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to hear what they're going to have to say. So it's not about size, it's about behavior. And I will say sometimes avoiding change or avoiding getting better is the avoidance of knowing how bad it's gotten. And I
Oh
think
God,
that,
you're absolutely right
you
there.
know, because like you said, like you finally got into the doctor's office for help once you were at that rock bottom moment. But leading up to that moment, we the ignorance part of this is bliss. If I don't know how bad it is, then I don't really have to do anything about it. And I will defend Ben a moment. And for a lot of people that struggle with food addiction, and you certainly don't have to be 400 or 500 pounds to be a food addict or to rely on food. I have worked with many people that are, whether it's single parents, someone working multiple jobs, going through an illness, a loved one's ill, whatever it is, under financial distress, at the end of the day, sometimes all someone has left is food. It's consistent, it's reliable, it's something to look forward to. It brings, as Ben said, a stimulus, a joy. It's something. And so I actually really understand that mechanism. I still reward myself with food as well. And I'm still working on that. And I don't know that it will ever go away for me or you, Ben. But it doesn't mean we're sick. It doesn't mean we're unhealthy. It just means we're aware of a behavior cycle that we need to just kind of be honest about. So I want to shift us forward. So you were willing to stay alive for your wife. Tell me, tell us
Certainly.
what made you willing to start for you at Pump Club.
That is a very good question. Do you know what it was? Was when I started being able to enjoy the things that I used to enjoy. I remember very proudly saying to several Pump Club members on Instagram that I chat with regularly, I went to a concert tonight. I went to go and see a band. One of my favorite bands. I went to go see a band called Blind Guardian, who they never come to the UK. They're very much mainland Europe, and it was incredible. And I could stand throughout the entire show, and my feet were killing me, but I could do it.
Yeah,
And that's something that I didn't realize, that the joy I take from being in the crowd in live music and having the energy of those around me, like surrounding me. And it's like, God, there's more to life, and I'm missing so much. And I've just been stacking little things there. It's things like learning that I am, in fact, reasonably strong. I can lift this much weight, I can move this. It reminds me that, God, I'm not too far gone. I'm just, this sculpture just needs a little bit more chiseling off.
that's
And it's things like
exactly right.
in Columbus, I ran the 5K, which is, I never thought I would do that, and I've since done another one with my younger sister, who's 23 years old and about 58 kilos and super fit, and I don't know what that is in pounds. I'm sorry, and she's she's super fit, and bless her, she shuffled along talking to me while I was trying not to gasp my last. But I've had a great
Yeah.
time, and it's just having the ability come back to me and just things that I can realize that I can do. Like I wake up, I'm in very, very minimal pain, whereas before I never realized how much pain I was in, like physical pain, like everything hurts. God, the people don't realize, when you're that sort of size, there is nothing you do that doesn't hurt. And just moving is, God, it's amazing.
So,
I had a wonderful time.
yeah, so my question and my final question is because I think that your story um is so relatable. Um the but the getting started, losing the first 50, then the next 50, it's really exciting and there's lots of fireworks around that. You're right now in a stretch of weight loss that's not the most dynamic, right? It's steady.
No,
You're working more on
it is.
positions. You're like, hey, am I still losing? What's going on? I feel like the furniture has moved around the house and your body is like recalibrating, right? So my question is, in the times of this journey where you feel like, and I don't want to use the word plateau for this because that's not what it is. Your body needs time to make shifts that are this big. Where what is the realization for you that keeps you saying, I'm staying on track, I'm staying on this path, I'm not going to stop going forward, right? What keeps you invested in the outcome, even though it still feels far in the distance sometimes?
That's quite a simple one, I think. I'm not even doing it just for me anymore because I've had so many people outwardly say to me, "My God, you're inspiring." And at first, I've always laughed that off, and I still do. And I think to myself, God, that's you want to pick a better inspiration, try Jesus, you know? Yeah.
Well, listen,
Or
that's he's hard to compete with.
you know,
He's a hard
you
one to
know,
compete with. He can be at first place.
indeed. Do you know? But I'm sitting there thinking, try to pick somebody better. But then I thought to myself, do you know, if I if I feel this good, despite having been in my own flawed terminology so far gone, as it were, and I've still got so far to go, and yet other people are seeing what I'm doing and thinking, God, I could do that. Then I think to myself, surely I have a duty to pay it forward. I had a young chap come talk to me in Columbus and ask me for advice about what to do, and all I could say is just focus on stacking the small wins. You're not trying to lose 100 pounds, you're trying to lose 1 pound 100 times. Just facilitate the things that let you lose that 1 pound and just keep doing it. Show up relentlessly, no matter what, just keep going. And I've got this, I don't want to say obsession, but I've got this wonderful idea that I think that if I could help one person, I could help a dozen people or more to feel as good as I do. And all I have to do is keep going and show people that it is possible. If you can be my size and still succeed, I I'm pretty sure you can do more or less anything.
Mm. Yeah, there's a really neat takeaway in all of this, and this is why these conversations are so meaningful to me as well, because I've learned more about you, Ben, than I've been able to in my over a year of coaching in here, just because we've been able to have this time. But this is
Mm.
not, we're not talking about ego, we're talking about responsibility and how exciting that when you take responsibility for yourself, you become an example for others, yes, but in a way that keeps you on the line, keeps you going because like you have the power that it's that ripple of your choices, that the ripple effect is real. And I still think I want to say, Ben, I still, it's very important that you're doing this for you. But on the days that I think it's easy to get like, the routine of the day, knowing that I'm accountable to you guys as your coach, knowing that you are accountable to me as, you know, there is something in like, we're not, neither you and I are ever doing this alone, ever. And I think there's
Yeah,
peace in knowing that, right? And it keeps us all on the line. So,
absolutely. It's wonderful to know that I've got gym buddies from all continents. And I've met hundreds of people now, very literally, uh,
yeah.
and I'm here for every single one of them, whether you can lift 5 pounds or 500. It really doesn't
Mhm.
matter whether you're
Yeah,
just
but that
learning how to walk again or no.
exactly. Each of your experiences are so meaningful. That's what this is. It's not,
Mm,
it's not about whoever pulls the most weight on a dead. It's not who loses the most weight. It's about shared experience, sharing what we have, holding space for each other along the way and knowing that it matters. Nothing is too
yeah,
small.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. If how could I look any of you in the eye and say that I'm doing my best when I know that you are? Everyone turning up
Well,
here doing their best. How could I not do the same?
Well, that's about personal integrity. And that's why I think
Hmm.
showing up on these calls and showing up in person is important. I really start to worry when I hear about someone pulling away or I see someone start to isolate. We talked about that earlier with Dom. When you start to separate, that's a really big indicator that you need to reinvest into community. You need to phone a friend. You need to like take a look at why you're pulling back because what you're avoiding is not people, but you're avoiding I guess I would say like a truth that you're not something, a truth in yourself that's coming up about maybe a mindset shift. And I don't even want to call it a slip. I don't believe in that, but I think sometimes it's hard to face when we're, I think it's hard to face when we're taking on something that feels uh, harder than normal or it's a surprise. I think that we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to get everything right immediately and on the first try. And so when things get hard, it's usually because people are like, I don't know what this is, and they pull back. And when you isolate, then you lose what Ben is talking about. It's like, how could I come here and not try my hardest when I know you guys are too? Well, that's easy. You disappear. You can avoid it. So if you guys get that feeling to pull back, that's your signal to lean in. Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing so much of your messages down here, guys. It is 5:08. I know a few people had to run. There's still a few hands off. Are you guys cool to go a little longer? Um, we're on this topic, so I'm going to stay on this topic. What I might do is shift some of you know, the POP versus PR, some of these proof of progress to our next call because I really want to hear some of those stories. But since we're here, I say we stay here and I'll take a couple more hands up. So Nick, you were next if you want to go ahead.
I was gonna just kind of address all three of your previous topic or like your things that you put up anyway.
Oh, go for it. Go
Because
for it, Nick.
the other day you hit me up on something about a personal accomplishment. You said you yelped in your chair for me, and I thought that was cool.
I did.
Uh,
Yeah.
so like I've I always used going to art school as an excuse to not go to a gym and never caring, and then like it didn't hold me back from meeting people or doing things. And um, I mean, I'm 41, and in January, I don't remember what it was. It might have been like having high blood pressure for a few months and saying to the person giving me the prescription, like, I can change it with diet, and then diet wasn't working. And when I had my daughter, it was like, oh, we're pescatarian when I have her, so I'm always eating really clean when I have her. But then when I don't have her, I'm like 2 a.m. fast food, and nothing's changing, and not really wanting it to change. But I just saw an ad on the internet about the Pump Club, and I don't know why I clicked it. Like maybe because last year I listened to the book, like Be Useful book, and I wrote a few things on my wall that was just like things to do, like Arnold was saying in that. And I joined it, and I have some mental health issues, and um, had my therapist recommending physical thing. And okay, I've never gone to a gym, so I'm gonna do body weight stuff. And
Oh,
going through that and like never being able to do a push up in my life to like, oh, hey, I can do a 20 set of push-ups. Like, all right, that's cool. But that became my morning routine, and my daughter walking in and like joking with me about doing IYTs, and she thinks that's the funniest thing in the world. And with the nutrition tracker, I started trying to hit up, like there's a different app that broke down macros, and I'd used it on and off for years, and I looked in like in 2020 I was at 250, not the same as 5. Um and I've been at a steady 230 something and not liking it, and just going back to that daily logging and then messaging Catch all the time, like, hey, how's this nutrition tracker work? Because I don't like AI stuff, just a personal thing. And the getting the moderators to answer you is a huge thing with this app, is that, oh, wait, I can be in contact with the people that I hear from. And then I started listening to the podcasts from number one. And I think that's what's given me the most motivation is listen, like, I'll listen to 10 of them and the messages repeat, and they're gonna repeat, but like the okay, get more steps. Okay, so then I stopped driving to the grocery store. I started walking to the grocery store. And I stopped. If I wanted to go out on a night, I'll walk to the place that I want to go.
but I'm going to push back a little, Nick. Like, what turns a podcast in your ears to action? I mean, and a few of you have said it, like talking to real people. You guys know we give a shit. It matters. I know that like I was genuinely missed in the UK, and that makes me feel very purposeful and here as your coach. Like they care what I do
You
and
know
they
what's
care what
crazy,
I
Jen?
say,
Hey,
right?
I want to hear a podcast where it's you or Ketch or Adam talking every day. Like, because I've just noticed that there's fewer and fewer coming up on my playlist. And like I want to hear what they have to say now rather than the Arnold bot, basically. I want to hear my coaches talk. But
Mhm.
and you had a really good reason. How was your thing, by the way, your class?
It was great. It was our last one. The
Yeah.
kids are like crying. It was great. Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
But it the podcast is just like when I'm on my walk, I mean, you're listening to the guy
No, I
and
know, but like I'm pushing back here. I want to know what, because like what makes an idea become something that
okay,
you're like, I'm deciding to do this.
it's not motivation, it's momentum.
Okay.
Like hearing that over and over that like, and I've listened to Atomic Habits before, and you got to do something for so many days, whatever. The first time I did a workout on the Pump Club, I just went, okay, I'm gonna try it. There's no reason not to. And okay, I had a rest day and another one, and then had a rest day and another one. And I went, I don't want a rest day. I want to like keep doing it. I've never been on a workout routine ever, and I haven't missed one, and I've only done extras. And now I since
Okay.
January I've been doing it, and like I'm trying to join a gym now because I want to like step it up, and I'm trying to figure out which gym. Like
Okay. So then I'll ask my question a different way. What's feeding your momentum?
I hate working out. I'm very
Totally get.
intimidated by the gym. I have high anxiety, and I'm trying to figure out which gym to join, and everybody's very intimidating to me. I'm thinking I want the one with more space so that I can have space away because nobody seems very tight on the one where it's
Mhm.
very closed.
So what about this? This is where I'm trying to
What about
find
the
the
app,
magic.
is it?
Well, I don't know. You have to answer that for me. What is the
Man,
thing
I
behind the
just did
thing?
it and
You just told me you hate working out, but you're going to start a gym. Like what, why? What
no, I
is
mean
that
like
thing that
with it
switched on on you?
I get like I felt better every time it doesn't give me the same endorphin release I think that other people get or the way that Arnold describes the pump in pumping iron.
Well, I don't feel like I'm coming when I lift either. I don't know what the heck
Yeah.
he's talking about, but it's
So
his experience
but
and we
like
respect it.
today I was there and oh, I watched your video doing rows, like barbell rows,
Yep.
and Catch's video of doing like it was a superset of
Yeah, I understand.
um bent like straight leg squat or straight leg deadlifts to barbell rows. And I did it and it was hell. And I was like, do I even have the right weight? Should I do more? Should I do less? But I just didn't even have an outside thought of it was just like, I'm here. I like it. It's not fun, but like I'm the pattern. The like I'm here doing
Hey,
it.
now we're
Like
getting somewhere.
I
So it's
see it through I want to be there more than 3 days a week. Eh,
Yeah, but so here's what's cool. So what starts to happen, and this is all behavioral stuff. We've retrained a new pattern, a new desire, a new reward system for behavior. And it
right.
doesn't mean like Nick feels differently about working out. Like I'm laughing. He's like, I hate working out. I hate
Well, it
it.
did
But
feel good the first time I was able to do a push-up that I can remember in my life. Like
of course,
that
but
was
like what starts
cool.
but you're repatterning, you're retraining. And I think that there's a misconception, and this is where I'll take over, Nick, because I hear you kind of like working through your thoughts, and maybe this is where I can be helpful. Um, I want to get rid of this notion that you start the pump club and in about a year or so, you're Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I'm not singing like size and shape on stage, but I mean like mentality with training. This is developed behavior, relationship, joy, challenge, um, personal respect, authority in the gym, confidence. Like
It's
that
so
takes.
embarrassing. I'm still at a super embarrassed level when I'm there.
But why? Like to me, you should be embarrassed if you stop showing up at these calls and you stop responding to me on the app and
I
you
did
stop
have
going.
3 or 4 people at a gym say everybody's got to start somewhere. And that's very
Everybody,
reassuring. And that's what I've gotten in the app because everybody in the
if
app's got to be positive. People in real
okay,
life
so
don't have to be positive.
show of hands, who has ever been a beginner at lifting weights? Yep. And if Arnold was here right now, he would also raise his hand. That's why the gym is the safest place on the planet. It's the best place to experiment. Are there some losers there? Always. But that's in you can go to any building you could do a building of dentistry, you'll find a loser. It doesn't matter, right? Like people are not perfect across the board. We're human and we're fallible. But the point I'm trying to make is that this is a process that takes layers, layers, layers. And each time you get to this end of whether it's a program or a few months, and it's not in sync with it's not in sync with like you're looking at like a fiscal calendar, you'll find this period where you're like, oh, I'm different now. And then I see it like a typewriter, like you do all this work, you bring, and it goes up. It's like, okay, we've made it to a new level. Now we're going to build off of the guy I just built, not the guy that I started as.
Jen, I took a yoga class last week, and just like as a like, okay, I'm here. I'm gonna be a part of the community.
Yes. No, but that's great. And maybe that wasn't, but I will tell you, the guy that started in this app wouldn't have done that. But this guy now is. And that's what I want to tell you guys. Like, I'll wrap up with this. And I know Adrian, Jeanette, there's a few more hands that were up, but I don't want to push too long. There is every I don't even want to say a number, but you are going to kind of start to build mentally and physically into a new person with new ideas, new confidence, new integrity. And then you take that person and you take on the next thing. Just know, like, the path you started on, the person you started as is not the one that carries forward. It changes and it evolves. And from that perspective, you're always pulling in wisdom, pulling in work ethic, pulling in strength and confidence to attack this next portion of your lives, whether it's in the gym or not. And that's where I want you guys to be excited. Like, we're building biceps in here, but we're building bigger lives. And that's the real takeaway. And that's the funnest thing that we're doing in here. So, Nick, thank you for letting me kind of play with you and push you, because I know where you're excited and where you're going, but like, you're just not the guy that started. And that's kind of what I'm hearing. And I love that. And that's there for all of us.
But it so helps that you've commented so many times on different posts that I've thrown out and given advice, and so has Catch. And like the idea that there is a community, and it's been really nice where I don't feel as afraid, I think, to go in person and feel like I look stupid because I don't know, there's other people here that also have feeling, and they're when Arnold always is talking about the positive place of the internet, like this is where you can go to like, hey, I had a goal and I hit my goal and here we are.
Yeah. No, it's not just a clever name, in the words of Wayne from Wayne's World. For anybody that's born in the 80s, you know that joke.
Party on.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Party on. Um, I love that, guys, not for nothing. Open gym is where it's at. This has been so fun. Uh if you brought contributions for the other topics, I'm not letting go of those topics. Okay. So bring them to the next meeting. I'll make sure I kind of make that known in the article. It's so good seeing everybody that could come for part or all of the time. Thank you for everyone that shared. Shout out to John Kukowitz. I saw your million pounds mark. That was awesome. Who hits a
Yes,
million
big John.
pounds?
Good
Proud of you,
lad.
dude. So I'll see you guys soon. Obviously, I'll be in the app, and I'm forgetting, when is next Nick's film room on Friday? 10 a.m.
Friday.
10 a.m. Pacific?
Eastern.
10 Eastern. So that would be
hold on. Yeah, 7
7,
Pacific.
yeah.
Okay.
Ah.
So submit for the film room, even if it's your first time. Let Nick get in there and train you, and I'll try to pop by and hang with you guys too. Okay.
Cool.
Thank
Okay.
you, Jen.
Thanks, everyone.
Love
Bye,
you
Ben.
guys
Bye,
so
Peggy.
much.
Thank you.
Great
Bye.
seeing everyone. Bye.